Okay, welcome everyone to the channel. This is my first time really doing anything like this. If you've caught up with the streams on Twitch, I'm going to be posting now onto YouTube, and this is basically just like highlights of the stream and things like that, and basically just condensing it down, but then also giving you guys like a bit of a tutorial on, how to make your saves work, because hopefully my save goes well enough that, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to inquire about, and you just drop me a message. But here we are. This is Rebuilding the NWA on TEW9 Total Extreme Wrestling. And yeah, here we go. Let's see what happens. So when it comes to picking people, it's very easy to just go for a booking reputation or booking skill. But obviously booking reputation helps in terms of getting wrestlers in. Um, but I'm going to play as Billy Corgan. I had an idea maybe for stream to play as Mike Tyson, but when you pick these celebrities and people like that, you have to remember that the money that they earn. Mike Tyson's like 40 grand a month or something like that. Billy Corgan has an exclusive contract with NWA, sorry. Therefore, he's always going to be there. Uh, Even if I choose somebody else, he's going to be there and he's going to be earning money. So we might as well just go as Billy Corgan. And it's been a while. It's been a while since I started to save. I played um, my NWA, my AEW save, sorry, for over a year. It started in October 2024 in game. Yeah, I'm still playing it now. I'm actually on that save still, and I'm at June 29th, 2026. We've just had Forbidden Door. So it's been a while since I've been on a save where, I have to like navigate, okay, what do you do at the start of it? So obviously I've got quite a bit to have a look around at, figure a few things out. So we've got 500k in the bank, which I'm happy with. We're ranked 12th. Our first event is scheduled in 6 days. We've got no TV. So maybe it's our time to have a look at the roster. I don't really know much about the NWA roster. Don't know too much. I've watched Marky D. I've watched Top 10 Wrestling when they've covered it. They are they're the only way I get any information on the NWA. NWA Power, I've seen a few episodes, but I don't have a clue really about, what's going on now. I know Trevor Murdoch's retired. I know there's Tiffany Neves, etc. I know a few of them. But the first thing we need to do is be looking at contracts, and that's a big issue right there. Written contract per month. We need to change that because basically where we are as a company, 500k in the bank is not a lot, especially if you want to do what we're going to try and do, which is try and get them, rising in popularity, which means we need to sign people. But what we want to do is we want to protect the people that we've currently got. So we've got people like Trevor Murdoch and people like that. Okay, let's get them off the monthly pay, because if Trevor Murdoch doesn't get used, nearly 5.5k is still going to him, which we don't want to do. So let's make sure that we put people on contracts that is per show only. And to protect ourselves, we're going to do 2-year contracts. The reason why we're going to do this is because we want us to have that protection. I guess these are maybe our biggest stars in the company. I have heard of Trevor Murdoch, Natalia Markova, of course. Um, and who was the other one listed on there? Tiffany Neves, actually. And they're okay for what we've got. We're not sure who we're going to get. Um, but yeah, if we do a written contract with an ironclad clause, remember it has to be an ironclad clause. If you do it with an ironclad clause, normally on written contracts, if a bigger company comes in, they can just offer you money, offer the wrestler money. The wrestler will move and they will give you their notice 28 days and then I'm leaving the company. If you give them a contract with an ironclad clause, it means they have to work the remainder of their contract. On my AEW save, I got Ace Austin, I got Jonathan Gresham, and they still had their TNA contracts and they still had to work TNA shows. I ended up moving Collision to Thursdays, so they'd be double booked. So they'd always choose one over the other, and they would choose an AEW. So for our protection, we'll get people on written contracts, the ones that we want to keep. but nobody needs to be on an automatic monthly pay. This guy's getting over 3,000 a month. And judging by stats, he's probably someone we're not going to use. So we'll get him on those written deals. I think you have to pay up front if there's a monthly uh, contract if you want to get rid of him. But then this also protects us in that sense. With the merchandising, let's up it to rapid. So once we get to small, we can really see, you know, money coming in through merchandising. So I'm just looking at the roster. I don't really know a lot of these people. Aaron Stevens, I know. Um, and from looking at these names, I don't really recognize anyone. Kenny O'Crapper. Um, the book. See, this is the thing. You need to make sure the wrestling is really good. If you don't have the popularity, you need to make sure the wrestling is good because the wrestling will really bring up the segment. So if you have high quality wrestling, and high quality wrestling isn't always expensive, you've got a lot of workhorses. But who's our biggest stars? Aaron Stevens, but he's not a he's not active wrestler. Baron von Storm, I don't even know who this is. Uh 30 years of experience, 8 years in NWA, 270 a show. No. No, I don't think we're going to do that. We'll probably revisit that and he can go. Colby Carino, well known. His stats are really good. So he's someone that we'll use going forward. I do like his stats. Checkered pass. It doesn't bother me too much. Contract, 100 a show. Let's get him on a written straight away. Um, I think he's going to be important going forward, Colby Carino. Let's get him on a 2-year deal. And travel costs are not covered. Remember, that's quite important for us. EC3, 240 a show. I recognise him. A big name for us. Major star in the company. So I guess if your popularity's in and around 30 plus, you're going to be a major star. So I like this, EC3. Let's see what we can do with him. But I mean, he's got great performance stats. Wrestling. We'll see how he goes. Kenzie Page, she's got really good potential. I think she can become a really good wrestler. She's a star. Easily marketable, he said in her attributes. And written contract. Again, she needs to be on a written contract. Kenzie Page, 2 years. And that's because she's literally got like 6 months left on her contract. So after all of that, we want to see what kind of staff we've got. We need to go through the staff because the wrestling can be really good and the things outside of the ring you can control to make the show better. To play-by-play commentator, we've got one. You've got slots for 3 commentators. And of course, you can alternate whether it's events, show, TV, etc., etc. Joe Galley is on a handshake deal. He wants 400 a show. We want to get him on a written contract. Let's offer him less money and let's see what he says. But 2 years, be exclusively a play-by-play commentator. His travel costs are covered, but he's coming from the southwest, so it might not be very expensive. And then we have to look at what we have next. Color commentator. None. So we need to make sure we get a color commentator. And then if we look at referees, have we got any referees? We've got no referees. So we need color commentators. We need referees, road agents. What have we got? Let's have a look. Aaron Stevens, 62. I'm sure we can get better than 62. Joe Kazana, 62 again. 53. Simon Diamond. Oh, old school TNA, Pat Kenny. Psychology 53, which means he's not a good road agent. Psychology 42, that is not good to be a road agent, but they have excellent stats if you look at their performance stats, charisma, etc., etc. So they would do well as a manager. And Ricky Morton is our best road agent at the moment. Occasional wrestler, but never going to wrestle while I'm here. So we're back just having a look at the rest of the roster. don't know who that was, but primary mental skills are just really bad. I'm just there's not a lot of talent on the show. La Rosa Negra is okay, but yeah, there's a lot of releases that will be incoming. A lot of releases that will be incoming. So, what should we look at? Relationships would be a good thing. Just to look at what kind of relationships we have with other shows, promotions, sorry, because when you're a company of this size, it's really important to have like talent trading so you can borrow people from other shows. And if you want to have your wrestlers go to other territories and gain more popularity, then it's important to be able to send them, over to other promotions. Or if you have an alliance, you can get an alliance title and include people from all different promotions. And if, they become a champion in that alliance, then you can send them wherever. So I'm going to go through every single one and adopt a friendly attitude just so, we can start building bridges. Okay, so we're looking at referees. We're going to have a look at the best referees we can get. We have 0 referees and they can up the quality of the match. So it's really important. I mean, they have a rating for a reason. Mike Chioda is available. 180 a show. See, this is where we treat ourselves. So we could have him, put him in our inner circle as, the head of, senior referee, basically. And let's see how much we can get him for. Let's try 150, see what he says. But Mike Chioda will be a really strong get, and it would help, our big matches. 170. That's the only thing I don't like on TEW. When they say we want this price, they don't go lower. Um, cool. Travel costs are not covered as well, and he lives in the Great Lakes, so that's good. Mike Chioda, done, done well there. Paul Turner, decent referee. Um, but yeah, Chad Patton, Bryce Remsburg. I think we're going to look at the ones that are more like 70 a show and things like that. The ones that are based in the USA, because these are the only ones realistically that are going to come over. But let's get some cheap ones like Chris Wiggins. We've spent the money on Mike Chioda. The referee budget has significantly dropped. So let's offer him a deal. But he's in Puerto Rico, so he probably isn't gonna accept travel costs not being covered. Yeah, thought not. I mean, I'm more willing to do it for talent. Maybe not the referees though. 70, Drake Younger, Gastineau, 70 a show. He wants travel expenses covered. Mike Posney, 70 a show. He's in the southeast, so probably wouldn't want expenses covered. Let's try Scott Armstrong, 100. I think he's retiring. He's pretty old. Sometimes you'll like offer contracts to people and they'll say, no, I'm going to retire in peace and things like that. 70 rated Mike Posney. Travel expenses, he's not going to want them covered. Written deal, 2 years. The only thing is, he's working with AEW or ROH, one of them, and maybe AEW. So he'll put AEW before us if anything clashes. But we'll obviously do our best not to clash anything with AEW because that would just be ridiculous. So yeah, that would just be completely pointless, like if we did that. So referee search. So we're going to have a little look at color commentators again. This one's really good, but we want to try and keep the money down. We've only got the ones in the US available. Jim Cornette is one. And Alex Kozlov, color commentator, he wants 400 a show. We've got 70 rating for color commentary, and we don't have any color commentators. Let's see if he'll accept the same as Joe Galley. 300 a show. 310. That's fine by me. So him and Galley are basically on the same money. So I'm happy with that. Jim Cornette, I'll probably circle back around to be honest, and bring him in, or Ultramantis Black, because he's got good stats for color commentary and play-by-play. And for the road agents, we've got Ace Steel, 73 psychology, good level of experience, which means he's going to be a good road agent. And they are basically in charge of producing the matches. $40 a show. I can't even complain. Travel costs are not covered. You know, what else am I supposed to do? I think that's perfect for us. We don't want to just keep expending too much money. Pro Bar, 75 psychology, another good one, 40 a show. Travel costs, you want some covered. I only want him to be a road agent, don't want him to wrestle at all. That's fine, we'll cover that. Made the offer. What else is out there? We've got some good deals so far. We've got some very, very decent deals. Pat Buck is another one, 60 a show. And if we just check his skills, 81 psychology. 81 psychology. Yeah, he's someone we need to bring in. If we can get him on a 2-year written deal, we'll cover the finances in terms of travel. That'd be perfect. Pat Buck. So let's look at some wrestlers in the USA. Let's cap the popularity at 50, minimum popularity maybe 30, because anyone that we sign that's 30 minimum popularity would be a major star for us. Ace Austin is only at Revolver. He's no longer at TNA, so this was before he signed his deal at AEW. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in, absolutely. Written contract, again, 2 years. Can we try and get his pay down? Should I bother? See if he'll accept less merchandise. Future main eventer. I think we'll be happy with that. So that's good. So we're just having a little look down. There's some guys here, but Kim, a kid who is signed. Hammerstone wants too much money. 400 a show. In-ring isn't great. Great popularity though, but I'll shortlist him. We might bring him in later on. It's not really what we're looking for at the moment. But there's a bunch of people available here. Even Austin Aries is someone you'd consider. It's for the name value, but it's only 32. You know, um, there's a lot of people here that would be interesting to bring in. The cost of some of these, though, when we don't really want to, the big names. I mean, this one as well, Breeze. Look, good popularity, excellent attributes, right? Good attributes, no issues, undemanding. He only wants 200 and something a show. That's someone we could build card around. He's a similar ilk to Ace Austin. He's just like 10 years older. So definitely someone I'd bring in 100%. So let's bring him in. One of our roster members thinks it's a good idea. Can we get him down on 250? I think he does some road agent work as well, but let's just say inclusively in rings. Offer him 220. Travel costs, they're not covered because he's in the southeast anyway, but he wants 250. I'm happy with that. 250, 260 for Ace Austin. I don't mind those. I think that's okay. I think that's a good price. So I've got no issue with those so far. And hopefully they accept and we get them in straight away. Now this is someone, yeah, technical 83, Jonathan Gresham, 34 popularity in the US. I mean, unmarketable, that doesn't work for me, brother. Prickly, highly strung. It is a bit, but I think just in terms of just his wrestling ability, I think he could put on banger matches and I think he could get higher rated matches. And it's just all about making sure the wrestling is really good. So I think Jonathan Gresham is definitely someone I'd offer a contract to. He only wants 260 as well. He does work for GCW. Um, shortlist him and see what else is going on. See who else is around. But Jonathan Gresham is definitely someone I'd revisit and uh, and have a look at. It's those kind of shrewd ones that, I mean, let's just do it. 220, obviously written contracts, 2 years. Can we get him? Let's offer him a 1 year. Actually, no, 2 years. Sorry, 2 years. Jonathan Gresham, and hopefully he signs up with us. Camille was at NWA before, wasn't she? She's married to Tom Latimer, who is on our roster. So it's someone you could look at. Let's shortlist her. Taylor Kelly for the women's division, good popularity, dark quality 70, and put her on a shortlist. But 220 a show she wants. Has spent 2 years at TNA. I think this will be really good. 2 years as standard, because after 2 years, if we want to extend, they're going to want more money if they get, more popular. She's in the southeast, so she doesn't want anything covered. So I think she'd be a great addition as well. This one's interesting. Layla Hirsch, 210. She's after amateur wrestling background. She's going to be a really good work rate wrestler. She only wants 210. Stats are good. She's 28. Let's just do that as well. Layla Hirsch, 2 years. Let's offer her 170. Drop the weight, merchandise. Okay. She wants 210. Let's just do 210 then. And she wants 15%. Cool. Now, Metalik is someone I recognize. He only wants 210, but he's got really good stats, really good popularity, especially in Mexico. Um, in the high 50s. So shortlist him. Mercenary and doesn't work for me, brother. I don't like that, but they're not going to be on, here forever. So let's negotiate. He lives in the southeast, travel costs not covered, 2 years, a standard. See if we can get him for a little bit cheaper. 190. No, it's just 210 only. Um, and yeah, let's just do that. Metalik. Now Priscilla Kelly's available. She wants 500 a show. A little bit on the expensive side, but she would probably be the most popular person on the roster in the high 30s. So let's offer her a deal. Obviously, we'll just try and get it down a little bit lower. Um, drop the merchandise a little bit if we can, but we're not covering her travel because she's already in the southeast, which is good. 350, 440. So we got a $60 less because, as you can see, um, once they give you a figure, they're not going to go lower than that. So 440, given her popularity, she wants more money in terms of her merchandise. So that's what we'll do. Priscilla Kelly, tough negotiator, but she should be with us. So we've changed the popularity stats. Now search ACH, low to high 20s, only wants 140 a show. Is a really good worker. And I think it'll be worth a punt. So I think he's someone we'll bring in. Again, try and offer a little bit less. He lives in the mid south, but we can get away with his travel costs not being covered. If it's automatic on there, that will tell you that they're okay with it not being covered. Let's up it to 120. No, he's sticking to his guns. He wants 140. But ACH, I think, will be a good addition. Yeah, the stats there. So who else is on the list? Who else is on the list? Who else should we be bringing in? And if there's anyone you think we should bring in, just drop it into the comments. Obviously, we're going to be a lot further ahead in the save by the time this video drops on YouTube. But, if they're still available, they're still available. AR Fox, definitely someone we'll come back to and we'll have a look at. He's got great stats, good worker, good work rate. Blake Christian as well. and he's younger, 27, good popularity, can easily be built up. Plenty of options. Um, okay. So Diamante, decent worker, very good worker. She only wants 90 a show. She's got a little bit of a name. I certainly recognise the name. So I think it'd be worth bringing her in. And she's based in the southeast. Travel costs don't need to be covered. She's only going to take 90. So we're just trying to build up the roster with some cheap options, but it's just better talent, more talented workers, in-ring workers. Dutch, recognise him, good name, 200 a show, maybe. See. Fred Yehi, I know he's a good worker. Based in the southeast, is a technician, 74 rated. His fundamental and physical is pretty good. So he's 100%. We're bringing in Fred Yehi. Let's get that going. And who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Giselle Shaw, it's interesting. Good popularity as well. Only wants 200 a show. Um, I recognise this name as well. Evilise, 110 a show. Decent worker. Um, yeah. Let's see if she'll go for not covered. I hope she goes for not covered. I'm offering her all her money. No, no, no. Okay, she's going to go covered. But again, she's traveling from the southwest, so it's not too much of a deal. Okay, so from my own knowledge, Adam Priest, it's someone you may have seen on AEW. Very good worker, good technician, and he only wants $40 a show. He's currently the DPW World Champion. Um, so I think workers like this are really going to be needed. Another person who's in the southeast, so the travel costs are not covered. Sean Legacy is another one we look at. He's on an NXT contract. He only wants 60 a show. Decent wrestling, good wrestler, someone who could be useful on the roster. Based in the southeast, so doesn't want travel expenses. Written 2 years. And let's see what happens with him. Now, before we started recruiting a load of wrestlers, we probably should have looked at the products. But, you know, we know the NWA, it's a work rate wrestling show. So it's episodic entertainment. Now, all in Nerd Nirvana or all Nerd Nirvana is what I'm used to booking on TW. And it's what I think I'm going to change the product to. It won't come into action until like a year later. So you choose it. But, that's what I'd rather work with. At the moment, no spinal impact moves are allowed because I don't want our aces potentially to be out with long-term injuries. Match focus will go free ring circus, angles, regular focus, and loosely enforced face and heel. Let's look at the titles. And the first thing I notice is that there's way too many titles at this moment in time. That definitely needs to change. I think whatever's got the least prestige, maybe it should go. I'm looking at maybe one or two mid-card men's, a tag men's world champion, of course, NWA world heavyweight champion. It's the most prestigious title we have. A women's champion, and I think a women's mid-card. I don't think the women's tag division is something we have the room to book for at the moment. I think we're bringing in some single stars who are popular. Brian Idol, otherwise known as Kenny O'Crapper by Marky D. Like this one, look, current prestige 18. It just doesn't need to be there. So we're going to get rid of that and, yeah, retire this title, and then we'll figure out the rest as we go. Okay, so we've released a number of people. EC3 is our franchise player. I'm just looking at who the hot prospects and things are on the roster. Just looking at where we are. Spencer Slade, you're probably going to get released if I'm being honest. Talk the talk. But again, we've still not shaped the roster into our image. Some people have signed up who we put like contracts offers towards. Um, Hidden Gems, Priscilla Kelly. These are people that, so Priscilla Kelly hasn't signed yet, of course, but these are people who could be real assets if you go and get them. 140 per show. Wrestling's not good. But for a tag women's, I mean, she's popular. If she was with, let's see if we could get her tag partner as well, though. If we could get a tag partner as well, then that'd be really good. What's her name? It's Cassie Lee, isn't it? So if we can get Cassie Lee in as well, I don't mind bringing them both in. Brother Greatness, 30th show, is that Beyond? Charisma, microphone skills, and acting skills are really good. So I would potentially look at bringing him in as a manager. I don't want him wrestling. He's got one popularity in most places, never in ring work. No, no, no. Manager. Yeah, go on. Let's do it. Let's do that. Let's see what he says. Let's give him a shot. See if he'll move closer. I might have to ask him again once he signs. Donovan Dijak was too expensive, so that wasn't someone I was looking at either. But let's have a look at Cassie Lee. 500 a show. Absolutely no way. Sorry, guys. That's the end of that one then. There's no Jesse McKay coming in. The Iconics are not going to be in at all. Madison Eagles, I'm going to look at. Well, Jude London's a good wrestler, but he lives in Australia. And I don't think I'm going to pay for his expenses. Madison Eagles, I think she's like really good as a road agent. She's got a good booking skill as well. Look, 70. But again, she's in Oceania, so we're not going to be paying for any of that. We've had a few people sign on. Kevin Koo is one of them. And surgical success. He's only going to be out for 2 months with a torn meniscus. So he'll be back in the show at some point. But a few people have signed in, ACH, Alex Kozlov, etc., etc. So, we're on a roll in terms of getting people in and ready to book NWA back to the territories. But one of the things we definitely have to look at is broadcasting. Where back to the territories is going to be shown. Let's go to broadcasting. So we need to look at, okay, where's it going to be shown? YouTube's an easy one. New deal for events. They're not willing to offer us prime time. So I guess they can just give us an on-demand slot. We're going to look for 3 months. There's 3 months, see how it goes. And we're not going to be paid anything. So let's just go to highest. If any revenue is generated, it'll go to us. So we've made decisions on our tag titles. Kenzie Page has had a massive run with this title. 649 days, 29 successful title defenses during her reign. Ace Austin and Co have actually signed to the company. So now it's time, I guess, to just figure out which ones we want to get rid of. So I think we're going to go the national heavyweight title because that's got so little prestige. And we are going to go the women's tag title. We are going to get rid of those and we are going to stick with the two mid-card belts, which is, do you know what? What we're going to do is the junior heavyweight belt, we're going to turn that into a women's belt, a women's mid-card belt. Then we'll have the men's tag team. The television title will be the men's, the world title will be the women's, heavyweight title will be the women's. And actually, no, we're going to keep the national heavyweight title. We got rid of the other one. So we got two mid-card men's, one mid-card women's, a men's tag team, and a men and women's world champion. So we needed to improve in terms of our booking team. So Alison Danger is a good person to have, 77 booking skill. So we've sorted out a deal with her. Colby Carino agrees. We've offered her a contract, and she doesn't want travel costs covered. So I'm absolutely fine with Alison Danger. David Lagana, good booking skill, but Following a scandal after being recorded using pro-Nazi imagery and language, having him on your roster will affect attendance levels. So he only wanted 30 a show. His booking skill was 73. I think our highest person is 62. So he would have helped a lot. But if we can get Jim Smallman in, let's just do that, because 20% the pay, that's fine. We don't need Neo guys in the company and affecting our attendance levels. So yeah, I'm happy to pass on him. And who else should we get? Ricky the Steamboat is a good person to have on your save as a booker, but he wants too much money for us at the moment. Even as a road agent, he'd be perfect, but 600 a show, it's just a little bit too much for us at the moment. So we've kind of figured everything out, from the commentary to the referees, and until we do to the territories, we won't know whether we're okay or not and where things are working or not. Takumi Aroha see, this woman here is excellent. Tusaka Fujimoto. Takumi Iroha is a workhorse in the ring. She is perfect in the ring. Booking skill was 60. If I sign her, it would be as a wrestler. Definitely going on the shortlist. Super Dragon, 210 a show he wants, 73 psychology, a good road agent. I think you'll get a bonus with him on there. Booking skill 80. Yeah, he needs to be on board as well. So let's get him sorted out. Lives in the southwest. We'll cover his travel expenses, but he's getting a written deal as well. He's not leaving us. So I'm happy with that. So everything seems all set. We're all good. We're ready to go. And I guess our first event is NWA Back to the Territories. And yeah, I mean, that's where we'll find out if the commentary team works. That's where we'll find out if some managers and pairings with the talent works and all of that stuff. But again, anyway, this is a recap of everything that's gone on. If you watch the live streams on Twitch, excellent. And if it's a little bit too long, then look, we've got the condensed version on YouTube now. Any questions, any ideas, throw them in the comments, drop me a message, and we will see you next time for NWA Back to the Territories 2025, our first event. And yeah, look, rebuilding NWA. It's going to be a challenge, but we'll do it. I'll see you on episode 2, or I'll see you live on Twitch.
Cool. Amsterdam.
Sheesh, Mari, how you did this.